What is up, guys? Magnus Gaming here, coming to you with a little discussion. Let's get my feathers ruffled, so sit back, relax, and mind the penguin. So, a lot of people have been talking recently about a Fallout 5, makes no sense, or a Elder Scrolls 6. Now, a lot of people are saying either Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to happen because of the Elder Scrolls Online, but first off, I will say that is mainly ZeniMax Online. Bethesda does help with that. I am 100% sure of that. No matter what, you can't have Bethesda not work on an Elder Scrolls. That would just be so much loss of lore in the game. But back to the point. People have been talking about a Fallout 5, which, no. Just know that there's no possible way that there would be a Fallout 5 coming out. Not since Fallout 4 was just last year released, and they also have a lot of new stuff coming out that they've been working on publishing, the new Doom, and just everything. But people are saying that they're most likely going to be doing the Elder Scrolls 6 because of the comment that they recently stated about E3 and what they're working on. But if you really read it, it said we are doing 3 longer-term projects. We'll talk about them in the future, and they are different from anything we have done before. So they're completely different. Nothing. It's not Fallout, it's not Elder Scrolls, it is something they have never done before, but they said while also being a Bethesda style game. So this means that it's going to be similar to other Bethesda games. I don't know if they have bought someone else's IPs, or if they are making their own, or if they're simply doing something like Dishonored 2, where it's completely different from the last Dishonored, but I highly doubt that. Now, people have been talking still about the Elder Scrolls 6 coming out this year or next year. Now, late next year, fall, winter next year, it might possibly be likely. That would be the earliest I'd say that it would be able to come out, because Fallout 4 was on Skyrim's engine, just modified. But the thing is that they create a new engine every 2 games or so. And also you have to think that it takes them about 2 years or so to create that new engine. Now, I mean, of course, you have games like Morrowind, which came out not even 4 years after the Elder Scrolls Adventure series. That is completely different though, because they only had one IP that they were mainly working on, which being the Elder Scrolls, and it was a lot simpler things to do. There wasn't as much to code and yada yada yada. But now you have to think Fallout 4 has been released. They're working on the DLC, yes, but I am sure that they have already thought about pre-production, have some ideas floating around, kind of think-tanking it. But as of right now, they probably have already started on some form of Elder Scrolls 6. Yes, now they were probably doing some pre-production stuff right after they finished the Dragonborn DLC. That was the last DLC, and it's just, after they released the last update, they're not going to be like, oh, well, we're just going to completely forget about this, and they already started pre-production. They probably already have finished the pre-production and are probably in some form of either production or engine production. So I'd say at least 2018 for a release date at minimum, if not late 2017, but even then that's a bit too short in my personal opinion. But I'm seeing a lot of people trying to say that it's coming out this year or next year, and No, not in the time frames that you're giving them. That's highly unlikely because it takes about 4 to 6 years to create a Bethesda game. It takes 2 years to create a new engine, and then if they start working on a Bethesda game now, they only have the current engine, unless they didn't do pre-production for Elder Scrolls 6 and went straight into the engine making, but then that would mean that right now they're in pre-production. Either way, the engine's going to take them about 2 years, so add that to 4 or 6 years for making the game itself. They've got their hands full with everything that they're doing right now. Now, I'm not saying that they aren't working on the Elder Scrolls. I'm not saying that they aren't thinking about a Fallout 5 or something like that, but I am sure that they have been busy doing other things. I mean, the Elder Scrolls 6 is... they're not going to drop an IP. I doubt that they're going to just hand it off to another company, even if it's a parent company. But I do believe that they are going to basically take the Elder Scrolls 6 and wait a bit, because, I mean, Fallout 4 was a good game. A lot of people did have problems with it, though. They found it not as... it didn't pull you in as much as the other Fallouts and like things like Skyrim, Oblivion. But I'm sure that they probably want to take some extra time, at least a few extra months, to get some, not necessarily better features, but some more immersion, more little gimmicks to make you want to play. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to add more Pitfall to the new Elder Scrolls, but I'm not saying that they aren't going to try to do something like horse armor again. It's just... they're working hard there at Bethesda Studios, and you have to give them credit, but there's plenty going on over there. So I would just say, sit back, relax, and mind the penguins. Magnus out.